Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Life of an Amateur over here on the EEG Online or EEG TV. We've got a very interesting guest and a very special one today. We're joined with Serge from War.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
If you don't know who this man is, by the way, then you're all living under a rock. by the way. But before we jump into it, we will give you guys a little bit of background on what is the Life of an Amateur basically is. So this podcast is basically going to attack the people's lives outside of gaming and obviously their work in gaming and more to do with their day-to-day lives, how they work around gaming, how they balance their jobs and so forth. And of course, this man being who he is, I guarantee you ain't got a lot of time on your hands that is free.
No, man. A lot of people don't know is I actually kind of working two full-time jobs right now. So I went to uni. And look at me, I'm saying uni. I'm not even from the UK. I went to uni. I got a degree in finance, and so I have a full-time banking job right now. That it's like an 8 to 5, and then I started War about like 2 years ago, around the same time I got that job, and so yeah, I work two full-time jobs basically, and so I barely have any time, but I make it work.
Do you get a lot of sleep or?
I get I think good sleep for me is about like 5 hours. I'll take that. I'll take 5 hours.
I mean that's what you can only get about so. Yeah, you ain't got no choice but to
I'll sleep when I'm dead, bro. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I like that one. So what made you start War? What was the process to that?
So I started War because I actually was a player. Myself, I was an amateur player for a while. I started playing I learned about competitive and Black Ops 2 because my current co-owner, he used to be a teacher, and one of his students was Parasite, Chris Parasite. He's
no way.
He was a pro. He's a world champion. So he was his teacher, and Parasite would always tell him like, "Hey, Mr. P, like I'm going to this tournament," because like my cousin was into like hosting like local tournaments at the time. And then so he would come to me like, "Yeah, bro, like I'm like a pro, like blah blah blah." And my cousin was like, "Yeah, whatever, bro." Until like he found out later after the fact on YouTube, it was like, "Oh shit, this kid is actually a pro." So he's the one who got me into like Call of Duty esports and stuff. And I first was just a spectator, and then I decided I wanted to try to do it, and I did that for like 3-4 years. I didn't make it. I had to hang up the sticks. I was that kid though who was like Denza. I don't know if you guys know Denza is on our old team, who would yell at you. Like I was that guy. I would fucking get up and be like, "Get fucking shit on." Like I was that kid. So I still have some of that in me when I play like rank play or something with my friends. I still like have a little bit of fun, but yeah, I was a player for a bit. That didn't end up working out for me. I finished uni, I got the job, and then something about esports, man, I just like still gravitated towards it, and I was just like, you know what, like there's something here, man. Like it's something I gotta do. And I used to run a YouTube channel, like I don't know if you guys were like into like trick shotting and feeds and like that stuff. Like, and then there's like competitive sniping back then, like it was like 4v4 snipers, like quickscope onlys. So like I had a team called M200 on YouTube, and I led that for like a couple years too. There's still videos floating around on YouTube, but I had like 30 snipers under my roster, and like I was managing all that while I was at uni. And so I had experience managing players and stuff. And so when I was thinking about bringing War to fruition, like I thought about that experience. I was like, you know what, maybe I can do it. Like maybe this could be a thing. So I didn't found War. War already existed. It was a local team though. Like I was a War player at one point. And so I kind of like created the business plan and with the like new logo, new revamp and everything. And then we started funding players in World War II was our first year. Dallas was our first event and stuff. And I just got like friends of locals, like tournaments I used to like play with and stuff. And I started with that team. And then we, got to Dave and the boys who just won Paris. So, over time it kept blowing up, and it's still, I feel like we have a long ways to go, but it's on the right track.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've seen your reaction on Twitter to that win. What was that like, just for you, in your own thoughts and mind? Like, that must have been surreal.
Oh man, it's like I told the guys too. I was like, I don't miss events. Like I go to like almost every event. I like since World War II. I think I've been to almost every event except for Miami, which we got second in, and then Paris. And I was like, I had a feeling, when like I just
Yeah.
had this weird feeling. I was like, this one's like this whole year has been like that. It's like I feel like we're right there. Like we're gonna get it this year. And I was just like telling Steve, I was like, like telling him all these things, like, I'm basically a dad and to these kids. So like I was like telling him things like make sure you pack this, make sure you don't do this, make sure you eat this and like stuff like that. And I was like, fuck, Steve, I feel like you're gonna win this event and I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be a little bit mad, but like I'm also gonna be freaking ecstatic, But like
Yeah.
I just really, really wish I could have been there like in person because like I'm that kind of person that I go to every event. I'm there for my players. I'm the water boy. I'm like everything. Like I'll do whatever they need to get them food. I'm their hype man, everything. So there's like that side where I was like, but then when it actually happened, man, like I was losing my shit. And the time difference was messed up. So I went out the night before with my girlfriend and her friends. And then like the first match was midnight, like of that Sunday. For me, it was midnight. So I came home, watched the match, and then I think I took a nap. I missed winners finals where we lost to Singularity and dropped to losers. And then I woke up in time to watch us beat Train Hard. And then we went to grand finals, and like grand finals was happening like at 5 in the morning or something, or like 6 in the morning. So like I literally didn't sleep. I slept like 2 hours that whole day. And when it was happening, bro, like we're in a Discord with like Kieran and like a bunch of others. And I was just yelling, bro. Like I fucking was I was like, dude, every kill. And I was watching through a Periscope, which, I want to talk about in a bit, about this year in CWO and the challenges I've had to face as an org. So yeah, man, like when it happened, I was yelling off the top of my lungs. I mean, there's that reaction video. There's some stuff that like I was thinking of streaming it, but I just didn't. I just wanted it to be more private. But like the first call I made was to my co-owner. He's been struggling recently because he's overcoming not an injury, a surgery he did. He lost a lot of weight, and so he's removing excess fat, which is a good thing, but like it didn't go smoothly. So like I called him, but he's been like my rock for like all this time. Like he's been the supporter. It's only me and him funding war all these years. And so I called him and I started crying because it was like that emotional because like I've been longing for this, man, for so long, dude. Like it's been like long time coming. And so like, like I was like happy and I started crying and then I was just like, it just felt nice to like finally get that win under our belt as an org. And then the way we did it with the team the team we had and like the team we beat, like we beat the back-to-back champs. We beat the arguably is the best team at the time. And then the way we did it, like close matches, like if you're a fan of war, I am sorry because you'll never have easy maps with us. We make shit like down to the wire. You're gonna get around 11 99% of the time. Like no chance you're gonna get like easy like a freaking blowout unless it's like the early rounds. But like the later rounds is always close matches. But yeah, I probably gained like 30 gray hairs from starting this. But yeah, that was like my emotion from that win personally.
No, I can imagine. As you said, you've been so close so many times as well, and then to have it there and it comes through. I bet it was more frustrating that you just weren't even there as well. The one time you don't go and it comes through.
One time, man, I was like, damn it. But I mean, I'm so happy that we got the chip. I mean, I've been like preparing like that graphic designer with that picture of the guys.
Yeah.
Like with the headshots, like we did that for London as well. And so it was like super sick graphic, but like they didn't win, so I couldn't post it. So
but now you can.
No, we did, dude. So when they did, I was like, I was just like click that button. I was like, fucking champions, man. So yeah, I'm telling everybody, like all my friends and like my family, like you guys can refer to me as champ now. That's what you can call me, champ. Just champ. So I'm enjoying it, man. I'm living it up. So
I mean, so rightly so. You've done an amazing job. So, with the current situation, with obviously that team now and the team you did just announce for just this event this weekend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just this event for this weekend, obviously, this was sort of, I mean, you spoke about it in your video. This was sort of just an opportunity that was given, really. So you took it.
Yeah. It's Jimmy was an old player. Evasion is his gamer tag. He was a player of mine with Mock and Ricky Atura and like Robbie Beeman and Hollow or Darian. He was on our roster for Vegas. We were like the 10th seed, and we should have done a lot better that event, but we made that last minute change, and we just didn't click at the event. But he was a good guy. I love Jimmy. He brings that energy. That clip I posted was actually him yelling at my team at the time. After they won a close like hard point in World War II, I think it was Atlanta. And so like that was like my videographer getting the reaction of him like yelling at us like, "You fucking suck, Super. You're never gonna beat me," like all this stuff. And like he's just like at the top of his lung, like it's just like you can see that fucking passion, and that's why they call it the passion pit. So like I just love that about him because I could relate. Remember I told you like I used to be that kind of guy. So like I always loved Jimmy. And so yeah, when this all went down with like me losing the team, he did like DM me and just say like, "Hey man, I'm sorry that happened to you. And, you've always treated us well as players. And, I believe in what you're doing. And like, I want to help you out in essence by like, we'll rep you guys. You guys weren't going to have a team. I wasn't planning on having a team at all at LA.
Yeah.
I haven't been looking for a team or anything. So he hit me up and he was like, he's a top team. Like he's a really good roster. They're the 5th seed. And he was like, I mean, all expenses are paid. Like we just want to like kind of like give back, like after all the stuff I've given to the community myself, with the treatment of players and all the funding I provided to the scene and the content, like I think is a way of like the community giving back to me. It felt like that's what it felt like. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So they're at the event right now. I'm hopefully going to go later today, and then for sure tomorrow I'll be there. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Awesome, man. Now, obviously, with Dave and that and those going, as you said, that wasn't a shock for you, but obviously, it might have. I can imagine it still was a shock in the same sort of way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it wasn't a shock because like I knew the possibility of it happening. Like the guys have been talking to me. Like I talked to Steve-O, before Paris. After at first it was just London and Minnesota agreement. They want salary and stuff like that, which, like I understand where they're coming from because all these guys are doing this full time. Like if they were pros, they're like putting in 10 hours a day. Basically, they're not going to uni. They're not having jobs on the side. Like this is their life and bread. Like this is it. And this is why they're so good. Right. So I understand where they're coming from. I'm just like, I have limited resources. I can't like, we don't have sponsors yet. We're working on it. So hopefully we get some good ones. But I've been waiting on that process a while too, because like I just wanted to build War up to the point where we're attracting actual legit good sponsors who are going to provide capital for our future growth. So I knew that, but when it actually happened, when we finally tweeted out from both sides, it became real.
Yeah.
And it became like, fuck, this is it kind of thing. And like, it felt like a breakup. It really did. Like it really hit me hard. Once that tweet went out and once it became all like surreal, like I went from the highest of highs from like fucking feeling like a champion to like, I just lost my kid. Like that's what it felt like. And for me, it's just like, I just want to make sure they're taken care of. Like wherever they end up going, like I want to make sure they're well taken care of because I think they're really good guys and they deserve the best, I love like spending time. I love getting to know them, all the banter, everything, all the content we've done together. And like, dude, I fucking, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I fucking like cried like that night to like, girlfriend came over and I was just like literally crying on her because like, I was just like, fuck man. Like, that fucking hurt. So I'm still like, like moving on and stuff, and it's gonna take some time. But like I'm still supporting them. Like I was just in their stream for the 1K. They're streaming the 1K Davis, and like subscribe to him, and like we're like they're bantering back about some shit, and like I might post a clip later. It's funny, of like why they left or whatever. And he was just like Steve was just like, man, like with Kev, I got sick 3 events in a row. I need to get the fuck out of here, mate. And so like it was just fucking hilarious. Like that's exactly how they are. So like you know, like I love those guys regardless, no matter what, forever. And they got me the chip that I always wanted, you know. It's just like, and I was having a heart to heart with Dave last night, and you know, he said like this win for him, like he wasn't very gassed about it, like he wasn't like super excited about it because like the money wasn't great. But he said that once they won, the first thing he went over to Steve-O and said, I can't imagine how happy Kev is. I'm so happy we got him this win. That's what like something along those lines. That's what he said. He told Steve, and like you know that's the relationship we had. You know, like they wanted almost as much more to get me the W than like to get the W for themselves, because all of them have won tournaments before. So to me, that's the bond I have with my players, and that's what I want to continue doing for War besides just COD. Like, and I want to do that in, you know, Fortnite, Apex, whatever esport we get into. Like, that's the philosophy I had, and that's thanks to people like Hex who care about their players like that and build relationships with their players. I think it's very important, and I think I've seen too many times where like or screw over players, and like that's my biggest pet peeve, man. I've been a player myself, so like I think that's why I kind of relate even more. But yeah, that was the situation, man. Fucking, I've been a crybaby, man. It's been tough. It's been tough, but you know, I'm happy for them though. They're gonna kill it regardless, with or without us.
100%, man. Now, with obviously being CDC, that what the one, something you wanted to talk about, and something I want to ask you actually as well is, so being an org owner, and obviously you know that CDC not having the correct coverage, you could say, for example, how does that feel for you, knowing that like you send a team, etc.? It's like, why there's nothing there, and obviously all the situations that happen in London as well, like a festival basically beaming down on a grand final, like is that stressful for you?
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't, when you're playing and competing. I would be, I mean, next thing you know, you're singing "Sweet Caroline" in the middle of an S&D round because like it's in your ear, and you're like, oh shit, sweet Caroline, bop, bop. You're like, what the fuck, yo, I'm in a fucking round 11. Come on, man. So yeah, it's been very, very challenging as an org. I mean, just from so many different like perspectives. But I also want to preface everything I'm about to say by saying, even though we're not in the place I think we should be, I think there's people behind the scenes that really care about our amateur scene and really care about the growth, and things will change. Because one thing you know about Call of Duty scene, and especially our community, is that we're very, very vocal, and things are going to get changed. I mean, like the prize pool for the Huntsman changed in like one day from 10 to 25,000. So we are very, very vocal, and I think we're going in the right direction slowly but surely. It's going to take some time, but things have to change. I mean, the fact that like I watched my finals through a Periscope is embarrassing. Like it's embarrassing, like to the highest degree. Like that should not be happening. And I've told this to the person who's pretty much in head, and we had an honest talk, and I see things from their side as well. I mean, it does cost a lot of money for production to get these streams up. But in the end, as an org, exposure is everything, views is everything, content is everything. I'm limited on content now because I don't have gameplay. They just started recording like the local recordings after every match, but like besides that, like Minnesota, I had nothing to work with. I had periscopes, and that's it. And I periscoped every match. I had to do that every match. I periscoped it, and that's tiresome, man. Like that's like, the thing is like when you periscope matches, like I'm watching through that screen because I want to make sure the screen is like leveled and like stable and all that stuff. And so I kind of lose that feeling of being in the moment sometimes. It's like when people like record concerts all the time and it's just like, dude, like watch the concert, like be in the moment. But for me, it's like I have fans who are at home wanting to see what's going on with war. So like I have like almost a job to do of like delivering a platform for them to watch our team. And it's just like imagine any other, like imagine a football team or a baseball team where like we couldn't watch a match from home. The only way you could watch is if you went to the actual game. Like that's ridiculous, and like that's what's happening right now with Call of Duty, and like that needs to change. I know for the two big tournaments, there will be proper streams, but as far as the local ones with the homestands, like the problem there is that it's kind of up to that homestand team to make that investment into the streams. And clearly some are about it, some are not. Luckily I think Seattle is gonna have a stream for us. Luckily I think Toronto is gonna have a stream for us. But as far as Chicago and Dallas, they haven't said anything. And that's another big issue that I was telling, the head of production of this. It's just like, we need a schedule, like not just like when these tournaments are happening, but like what's the prize pool for each tournament?
Yeah.
Like, is there going to be a stream? Is there going to be bags allowed? Is there going to be the waters allowed? Like every tournament's different, man. Like I went to Minnesota and I was spending $3 per water and it ended up being like $500 in waters and Red Bulls. $500. Like that's ridiculous. And that, like, I have the resources to do that, but imagine other teams who don't. Like maybe somebody who doesn't even have an org, like they can't even freaking like drink water, like unless they like coughed up a lot of money. Like that's ridiculous. That should be a given, So there's a lot of things that like need to be changed. I know London did a better job about that. They had like water stations and stuff. And to me, that's a given. Like, that's just like, come on, like let's care about the players and their health. And, one of the biggest things that happened to war, and, they apologized to us. They apologized for this. But if you don't know, we made it to top 3. We were playing at 10 a.m. on the Sunday, and this is Minnesota. Steve-O got sick overnight. We didn't leave. We were there in that venue from 9 a.m. till midnight. We left at midnight. So we were there like 14 hours. And after 8 o'clock, they closed their cafeteria in essence, where they had food. So like at 8 o'clock and up, we didn't have food. So they were like playing and like starving, right? And then we finished like at 10 o'clock. And then we waited like another hour or two to do content for them, which is awesome. Like we did like an interview and they did like some walk-up shots, but like it was taking forever to like get the person to take us to the right room and all that stuff. So we ended up doing the content and we ended up leaving around midnight. And then the boys went to go get food. They went to get McDonald's, and Steve-O got really, really sick. Like I woke up to text from him at like 7 in the morning saying like, Kev, you need to come. Like I feel like crap. Like, so I went and like, he looked like crap. Like he looked, I mean, Steve already looks like a ghost, but like, he looked like on death's row. Like he was about to like die on me, like right then and there. Like I fucking panicked. We go to the venue and they're like pressuring us. Like, you have to like start at 10. You have to start at 10 for like scheduling reasons, which I get. Right. But like, he was really, really sick. Like he like when he started warming up, like he started getting teary-eyed. Like it was that bad. He was in that much pain that like it was like borderline crying, because like he told me he was like, it felt like somebody's stabbing him in the stomach. So we ended up having to get paramedics to come and check him out. And so while the paramedics are checking him out, the production people are coming to us and telling us like, you guys got to start. And then like the paramedic guy was like, he's not going anywhere. We're still not done checking him out. Like he might need to go to the ER. So while they're checking him out, he gets up and pukes in a bag, like legit pukes in a bag, like fucking a shit ton. And so it was like, at that point I was like, this is not happening. Like we're gonna have to forfeit the whole series. And the doctor said like, hey, like you should go to the ER, but like you're cleared to play if you want, but you should go to the ER kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then Steve-O, I looked at Steve-O and I told him, like, honestly, I don't care about this. Like, I care about your health, number
Yeah.
one. Like, you know, like you're my priority. Like your health is my priority. So like let's just go to the ER. And he was like, no, I can't. He was like, I can't let my team down. I was like, I can't let my team down. I need to play. So he went and played. And by that point, we're like 15 minutes past the start time that they wanted. And they basically only solution they had for us was forfeiting us our first map, which by the way, we're like the A team. So we chose first map, which was our strongest hard point
Yeah.
against Singularity. So we forfeited our best map, even though Singularity players were like, no, it's cool. Like we don't want to forfeit like
Yeah.
their map, you know, like let's play it out. Fuck it, you know. But the production people made us forfeit the map, and you know, we ended up losing a close series to them. But yeah, they ended up apologizing to us after and how that went down. And what I basically told them is like, no matter what, in any sport, I think players are number one. Players' health is number one. If the kid is getting a damn checked out by a paramedic, like give us some time, man. It was like 15 minutes, bro. Like it wasn't like we're asking an hour. It was like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And like that final ended up getting played on like the side station, you know? And so it's just like it was a very stressful event. And like it's been very stressful as an org dealing with this, especially from going from last year where we got main stage, we got coverage, we had an open stream, we had casters, you know, we had Chris and Bryce like casting all our matches who are like phenomenal at what they do. Like one of the best casters. They have so much charismatic, like they get so into it. It's like amazing. Like, I mean, like if you saw our champs highlight reel that we did, like, and you see like those, like, oh my God, like defrag, like those moments, like
Yeah.
it's special, bro. It's special. And like, if you invest in it, like you will get returns, but like, I don't know what happened this year. And I know it's like the whole formula change and we're a franchise and they have so much stuff to deal with already on the franchise side. Like they kind of put us on the side burner, but it's really like it's affecting the esport, you know, like because we're the next in line to like come up, you know, whether it's the players or the orgs, you know. But we're pretty much we're helping fund like these amateurs to get to that next level. So like you got to invest in that too. So yeah, it's been very, very stressful, man. If you have any specific questions, go for it. But I know I went on a rant right there. But you know, it's been very stressful, and for me, it's just like it's not worth it to like take, you know, a UK team that's going to cost me, you know, like $10,000 for Dallas when the prize pool is 25,000.
Yeah.
You know, and no stream. Like even if we combine that one in Chicago, it would be like 50K together. It's still like you're adding like another 5K probably to that trip. So like, you know, you're looking at $15,000 for 2 events, and you know, like no stream, no coverage, and you're relying on them getting like first place and getting maybe a small minor cutback. It's just like logistically, it just doesn't make sense for an investment, right? So and I've done 3 already. I've done Minnesota, I've done London, I've done Paris, and I mean, I haven't got any coverage. Hopefully they rebroadcast the Paris one. I'm really hoping they do that for us. But they haven't even confirmed that. So it's been very, very stressful for us. But I mean, I love COD. I love this esport. I know it's gonna go places, and I believe in it. So we're not leaving. Clearly, like we're gonna be in LA this weekend, and I plan on going to Seattle and the rest of the year going to Seattle. I was gonna take them to London, of course, since they're in London. So I was gonna do Seattle and London, and then the 2 majors. So it'd be like 4 more tournaments. But now that we're not with them, like everything's changed. So like I don't know what's gonna happen yet. I can't, to be honest with you. Like I don't know what's our next game plan in sense of what team to pick up and stuff, but and what tournaments to go to. But yeah, man, things need to change for sure.
Would you potentially look at picking up an A roster now then moving forward, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, and this is not throwing jabs at anybody or any teams, but like the only UK team I would take back is our team, and that's because I have a special relationship with those guys. And I mean, there's a limited, like there's top tier teams for sure, and for me this year is like I want to win championships for War, and like I believe that's the best team right now. and the other good teams are already taken, like Singularity and Train Hard teams. So like for me, it's just like there's no point in going looking for a UK team because like again, it's the same problem. It costs a lot of money, and so yeah, I'd have to be an NA team, you know, a top tier team, of course, that we'd take because just cost efficient and stuff like that. It's way cheaper and it makes more sense for the current state of Call of Duty for sure.
I get that. So, moving away from COD now, I think we've pretty much delved into that one very deep.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the other plans for like War and that, the stuff that you can announce? So, obviously, COD, you know, as you said, you love COD, etc. Like, what other esports are you like so heavily wanting to get into?
I would say I'll give you two answers. I'll give you a realistic and I'll give you a dream answer, right? My my dream is to be in CS:GO. I love CS:GO. I absolutely love CS:GO. Like I've never played CS:GO. Like I've tried it one time and like I got shit on and I was like I'm not doing this. And you know, I can't do the mouse and shit. Like I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm a console kid, man. Like look, Scuff, I've been using Scuff since 2012. Like I just like I'm a console kid and like that's it. So like, but that esport is like one of my favorites for sure, and I understand it. Like I might not understand it like I understand Call of Duty, like in the sense of IQ stuff, but like I could watch it and follow it and know exactly what's going on, and like every match seems like the ones that get to like close rounds, it's just like so intense, and my heart starts pounding, you know. So I've been to like 3-4 events already of CS:GO tournaments, and like I love them every time. So like my dream is to have a pro CS:GO team, you know, an international one. So we could, you know, like for me, another big reason I picked the UK team to begin with for Call of Duty last year is because I want War to be a global brand.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want it to just for the longest we're just NA. Like I want it to be global. And like I already saw the results. You know, when I went to London, I met everybody. I met all our fans and people that follow our players. Like was fucking awesome, man. Like I loved it. Like the crowds are insane, you know, and everybody's just so friendly. It's just so awesome to be around that and seeing the growth of War outside of just NA. So definitely want more global exposure. CS:GO would be the dream esport for me. Realistically, right now we're diving into Fortnite. The problem with Fortnite is that they haven't announced if they're going to do another World Cup. And so if they do another World Cup, we'll definitely have a player for it. And honestly, I went to DreamHack Anaheim that was my first Fortnite tournament, and dude, it is nuts, man. There's like 1,600 maybe players with like, and it's like bring your own PCs. Like these guys legit brought their whole ass computer and monitor and freaking like brought it to a tournament and like had their own like little table and set it up. It was mad. Like it was so cool, like really cool. It was very sweaty, but like it was very cool. Like, dude, I need to get like Old Spice or something sponsored to sponsor War, man. Like we'd crush it. So, yeah, like that's probably our next one that we kind of want to get into, and then definitely the new Project game, which is called Valorant. That's the next game that we're looking into getting a team for sure. Like we're keeping our eye on that one heavy, and it's like in esports, it's like it's the best time to get in is early. Yeah, it's like you're gonna get a value buy, like you're gonna get it for cheaper, and it's the value of it's just gonna go up. So we're looking at definitely getting a team for Valorant this year, and as well as Fortnite. So like those are the two targets right now. But I mean, Smash is always on the table. I get Gears of War offers all the time.
Yeah.
But I just need to see more from that scene first before I just invest anything. And for me, it's like I want to do things right. So like I don't want to like just half-ass something. Like you guys see how I handle COD and how active I am and how invested I am in it and like in every players and creating content. So I want to do the same with every sport, like, you know, and make that presence known for War. So that's kind of like the future of War kind of thing.
Yeah, man. What do you go up to like outside of War then? So when you're not working or you're not working on War, I mean, I imagine you always are, but say you're on the go, etc. You can use your phone, whatever. What like other hobbies do you do or anything such as that?
Well, like I started going to the gym, so like I wake up like at 5 in the morning. Yeah, like 5 in the morning.
Oh,
And I work out like 5:30, like 5:30 to 6. And then like I'm done like around 7 a.m. And then I get ready for my full-time job. And then I go to work till like, like 5 p.m. I get home like 6, 7 p.m. Throughout that time, I'm also doing war stuff and
mhm.
like talking to Kieran and Molly every day and like just making sure we're doing our task. And then I come home and usually it's like I'll do war stuff, like business stuff, or if I have time, which I used to have more of, I would stream.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like if I'm gonna be recruiting content creators, like I want to lead by example. So if I'm streaming and making it work somehow, you should be too. So I do that, or I hang out with friends, or like I've recently been going to like back to my uni and doing talks and kind of like giving them like life lessons of like what worked for me when I was in college and like life advice basically
Yeah.
what I think will help you become successful. And then I've also started dating somebody, so like I know some of you might see my thread that I started, but she's been great to me. So like we've been spending, and I've been wanting to spend more time with her and stuff. But yeah, man, just family and just business all day, man. It's like you said, like I barely sleep. But
Yeah.
I'm excited. Life is good, man. Like I can't complain. I'm just blessed to like be in a position where like I think I found my passion, and
Yeah.
I think I found something that like I will hopefully one day wake up and call my job, because it's to me it's not a job. Like to me it's just like the love of my life kind of thing. Like it's just like something I love doing, something like yeah, we have our tough days and we have
Hmm.
to do annoying things sometimes, but like overall I love what I do with war. I love being a CEO of an esports organization. Like it's the best. Like honestly, and the people I've met, the things I'm doing like right now, like being on the podcast with you guys is so awesome. And we being across like the
Yeah.
world from each other, like that you're over there in the UK, I'm here in the States. We're like 9 hours apart. Like it's pretty crazy how we're here, if you think
Yeah.
about it. Like it's pretty mad, like the position we're in and like how we're so connected to each other without like ever meeting. And
Hmm.
hopefully we do meet one day, man. Like if
I
you
mean, I
ever
was
go to
gonna come to
London.
London, but I just never come down.
Oh man, you gotta go, man. I mean, I'll buy you around at Spoons, man, for sure. If I see
Uh,
you, I'll buy you around at Spoons, and it'll probably turn
I'm
into like
definitely coming next one.
it literally. I kid you not, it was my first night, man, and like we went to get dinner as a team, and then we go to Spoons. This is my first time.
Hmm.
I buy everybody around because I'm so excited about like how this works. I think I bought like 3, 4 rounds for like my team. And then next thing you know, like drinks start just flying to me because I mean I thought we are gonna go like at 10 p.m. Get ready for the next
Yeah.
day. We're there to like past midnight, and then like I'm meeting like people like Lee who's coming and like just dropping a beer. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna drink this then. Next thing you know, I'm like 10 plus deep beers, and I'm just like I wasn't even drunk. I didn't feel drunk. Maybe I was drunk, like, but like I felt like good, and like I was just having good vibes. And like it's so different because over there, like over here, there's like music playing in the background, so it's like kind of hard to hear each other. Over
Yeah.
there is like no music. It's just you chatting and bantering with your homies, and like this. I love the UK, man. I cannot complain. The food was good to me, and Nando's was fucking great. I don't know what people complain about Nando's. I did learn that chips equals fries. I didn't fucking know that. I thought it was like because chips here is like I don't have chips around me, but it's like Fritos and stuff like that. And so like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, like maybe like house made chips, as I think. And I came, I was like, oh, it's fucking fries. All right. And then my whole team started bashing me. I was like, Kev, you fucking nonce. And I'm like, bro, I didn't know. Like I fucking ate. Like I thought this was fucking chips. So I love the UK, man. I love the UK, man. I want I like if we do end up somehow reuniting with my old team, I probably will come back in June, and that'd be a great time.
Someone. We have a chat from a chat from we have a question from the chat from Kyle. How do you have time for your girlfriend with everything you do? So I'm guessing that he just needs advice on how to balance his time.
Yeah. Kyle, I think the biggest advice I gave you is just making sure you two are on the same page. She knows what I'm doing. I communicate very, I think pretty well with her. Like I tell her what's going on in my life. I tell her what I'm doing, like day to day kind of stuff. And she just like as long as you have somebody who's supportive and like will be on the same page and understand like, hey, you won't be available all the time, but like when you are available, when you do hang out, you spend quality time. And that's something like I had to learn over the years. It's like, hey, like this thing like could consume you. This phone could consume you. So whenever we hang out, I try to put it down and just not pick it up, like, you know, and just be in the moment with her. And so when we do spend time, I try to have really, really quality time with her. And like, I think that's what makes us like work and be compatible, because she gets it. Like she understands it and she like supports war. Like, you know, she rocks our merch, and she really like, you know, she had no idea about gaming, to be honest, before me. Like she doesn't know a lick of fucking esports for sure. And like, you know, if I gave her a controller, she'd be like lost as hell, like what to do. And so like I'm not even gonna try, to be honest. Like, you know, I'm just gonna like, you know, like accept me for who I am, and you know, accept her for who she is. And she's not a gamer, it's all right. But like, dude, she's already been learning a lot about war and stuff. And like she told her family like about Paris, like without me telling her to tell her anything. Like I went to her parents' house, and like they're like, oh yeah, how's Paris go and stuff. Like, how do you guys know about Paris? And it's just like, you know, like, you know, and that shows to me that she really cares. So like I think it's just like being on the same page, brother. And like I know it's hard. I think it was harder when I was a player, to be honest. Because I would literally like spend hours playing, and then I would sometimes like my fault was like I would forget to text back, and so it'd be like 5 hours without texting her back, and then so she would flip out. So like in past relationships, it was way more tough, but like in my current relationship of my current position, I think I make it work.
Awesome, man. Rude's cool point in the chat. I just want to say you're an absolute legend, Serge. Not a question, but just thought I'd say you are as well, Connor. We appreciate the free gas, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate that cast, brother. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, like feel free. Like I want it to be an open forum with the chat. Like I know we've been talking a lot, but like if you guys have any questions for me, anything, I'll try to answer it. There might be some I can't, but like I'll try my best.
How did you tell her about all this gaming esports stuff?
She kind of had an idea because we had a mutual friend. This is how we met. We met through a mutual friend who like I told him about all of my stuff that's been going on. So like she kind of had an idea, but like she didn't know like to the degree level that we're at, like and how like serious it is, and how like, you know, how successful we've been and stuff, and like even like creating our own merch and having all this gear. Like it's pretty surreal to her. So I kind of just try to dumb it down as much as I could, like, you know, and like she likes sports a lot. So it's pretty easy to like make that, you know, that similarities, like, you know, like there's franchise teams in baseball, and like we're basically like the Dodgers, or in basketball we're like the Lakers, and like we have players under us who like wear our stuff and compete at matches and stuff like that. So like I try to make it like towards like more traditional sports for her, and then like that's how she like. And I advise it. It works all the time, especially.
That's how I do it as well.
Yeah,
if you someone says, "What did you do?" I just say I commentate. Say I commentate over football matches, but just call it duty instead.
Yeah,
simplest way.
Exactly. So yeah, you just make it relatable. It's like just make it relatable to something, whether it's soccer, you know, like whatever, baseball. Make it relatable, and like usually that's what helps them understand. So that's my advice.
What's the main and best way to grow your brand?
What's the main and best ways to grow your brand? I think honestly, like having a good team behind. And I'm not talking about like a competitive team. I mean, that's important too, and like having a winning culture. I could go on about that, but having a good like team, operations team behind the scenes that's doing all the dirty work, all the tweets, all the social media stuff, all the merchandise stuff, like that really, really matters. And I'm blessed in the position I am to have people like Kieran and Molly who have been helping me. Molly's been with me over a year now, and she launched our Instagram from nothing to like, you know, we have like probably like almost 300 posts now. And so like, and now she's like starting to take over Twitter for me, and like, you know, basically getting to a point where like I won't be tweeting or anything from that account really. I'll be able to work more on the business instead of in the business kind of thing.
Yeah.
So having a good team that align with your vision, I think that's super important. Like they get where you're going, they understand your path. And I'm blessed to be in a position where like everybody, like my co-owner, Molly, everybody like believes in my vision. They believe in me. They believe in the way I do things. And they're here to support. So I have a really, really, really good support team. And like, you know, I think that's like the first thing I would look for if I was you, is like finding that. And luckily most of them are in person. I wish Kieran lived here, man. I might have to make this kid like live in the basement with me or something. You know, like you know, the time difference sucks, but at the same time, like, I mean, at Paris, like the time wasn't bad for him compared to me. So like, he was like tweeting out like every score, like while I was asleep, like he was doing it. So it's just like, you know, and finding people with passion for esports, I think is like the most important thing. If you, when you deal with people who are not passionate about it, they're just not gonna do their best. You know, if they don't, if their like personal goals don't align with like the industry they're in, like it's just not gonna work, man. So find people who are passionate about esports, treat them well, treat them like family, and they'll stick around. I mean, like Molly's here still, and it's been over a year, so I can't be that terrible of a CEO. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. And like be content, like think about content, think always the ways to create content around esports and everything, which could be tough because sometimes the players are just not, they don't think like that. They're just like, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win. So sometimes like, no, like, dude, do this interview. Like you gotta be assertive, like sometimes. And like, if I tell any of my players to do something, they'll do it. Like, you know, I tell like Steve-O, like, do this interview, he'll do it. I tell like Denza, take this picture, he'll do it. Like, so, but that's because I've garnered their respect. So, yeah, that's my advice for you.
Awesome, I get that. I mean, for me, I'm all out of questions. But guys, if you do have any further questions before we wrap this up, feel free to drop them in now. And if you do have any questions that you want an in-depth chat, of course, with Serge, just his Twitter's right underneath his camera. Feel free. I'm pretty sure he will reply. He won't just leave you on red. Don't worry.
I am not the best at responding right away. I tell you that. Luti, you know Luti?
Yeah.
He always gives me shiz. Like fucking Kev never fucking responds to me, man. And it's just like, I know, dude. Like it's just like I have so much going on in my life that sometimes it just goes whoo, and you know, like, so I'm sorry if I don't respond, but like keep bugging me, and eventually we'll get around to it. I promise.
Just bump the message, guys. But feel free to make sure. Well, definitely make sure you go and follow him. Of course, make sure you follow War as well. Keep up to date with what this man does, because it's absolutely amazing. And I'll tell you what, you've got a very interesting mind as well.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it, brother. And thanks for bringing me on your podcast. I think this is the first podcast I've been on that's live, I think. So awesome. It's new to me, but like, you guys are awesome. I respect what you guys are doing for the scene, and I think we need more of this stuff. We definitely do. You know, so it's like I went from my first year of like just focusing on War and myself to like this year I kind of like, I'm having a self-realization. It's like, you know what, like I need to collab more, I need to like help others more. And I think I'm in that position where I've learned my mistakes, and I wouldn't be afraid to tell you guys what I would have done better if I was in your position starting off. So I want to give back. I want to be part of more of the community, even more this year, and give back. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, and yeah, follow the guys over here. They're killing it. I love this idea that they have for a podcast. Like I want to end up doing a podcast myself one day. I have an idea for one. It's just finding that time, man. I might have to go from 5 hours of sleep to 4 hours of sleep. You know, like shit. That's a one thing I always tell my co-owner when we have like deep talks. So like he's my cousin, so we have like really deep talks sometimes. And like what you end up realizing as you get older is just like the most important outside, more than money, more than like anything, more than materials, more than like a Gucci belt, whatever, is time. This really is time, because time you cannot buy. You know, we have a limited timeline in our life, and we can't live forever. So it's just like, it just keeps getting shorter and shorter. So like, make the best out of your time. Try to be happy, be good vibe, be a good person, be positive as much as you can, give back to the community. and support each other, man. Like I think so many people try to take each other down, especially in this community. I've seen it happen,
Mhm.
and I think we need to like change that around. And I think what I loved about the whole like media coverage we got for the departure of me and my team was that it was like even though it was sad, it was like happy. Like we both love each other, and it was not like a nothing hatred, no hatred at all. Like it was just all love. And the reason we're sad is because we have to, come apart in essence. And so like to me, it was nice because I was just like, I'm so used to saying like, oh, like this org scam, these players are not paying out, or the players are doing this or like shady or whatever. Like I don't want to see that. I want to see the good stories. I want to see the good stuff. Like because there is a lot of good orgs out there, and I've been meeting a lot of them. Like I have a friend who I met at the 100 Thieves merch drop thing. His name is Brian. He runs like No Mercy Esports. They're doing cool things over there, and they're very small. Leadus, I met the owner of him at London. Great guy, like super great guy to talk to, and I feel like he has his head on his shoulders, and he has the right way to think about Deck from Aspire, like another good kid who I just feel like again is doing this for the right reasons, which is to help the players grow and in essence help everybody else grow. So just a couple shout outs for them, of people who I see are doing the right things. So Serge, how many esports are you currently in? Right now we're in Fortnite and Call of Duty, brother. And hopefully we'll be in Valorant, that new game that apparently is going to take over the whole world. I hope so.
Yeah, it does look good, but I think we'll have to see on that one. But it does look good, what we've seen.
I mean, you already know in the beginning, everybody's gonna hype it up. It's gonna get like millions of views, but like it has sustained that. It will, like I felt like Apex fell off. I felt like PUBG's still going, but like I don't know. Like I've been to a PUBG tournament. And it was kind of fun, but
I just don't find it exciting.
Yeah. I hold my reservations about Bowser.
Oh, bro, that's you have an opinion on absolutely anything in the world, so you would. We spoke about Apex Legends at the start. I mean, Apex still does good. It's just it could be better, I think.
I think they were too late on the esports stuff. I think when they had so much like people talking, so much buzz, like they should have like jumped on the esports right away. And I think that would have helped captivate, the esport faster. I think for us, like Black Ops 2 is that breakout year. And I think we did a really good job about like being on top of it, having enough tournaments, having enough coverage. And, we had like 500,000 concurrent viewers during champs. You could watch it from your Xbox. You could watch it on Twitch. Like it was like, it's just done perfectly. And then we got all complicated with MLG.TV. And then like the fight with Twitch. And then now we're on YouTube. Like it's just like too much. Like we need to just like set in stone. And I honestly just wish I wish we remastered Black Ops 2 and then like that was our competitive game for the rest of lifetime. Like I love Black Ops 2. Like I own Die Hard. And I think that's also a big part of the success for like CSGO and League of Legends. It's the same game, man. It's the same game. 10 years later, same game. But like the whole meta changes all the time. Like it's a whole new meta. And I think that's the beauty in it. Like, I remember when like people started using smokes to start breaking the anchor in Black Ops 2. Like, they started doing that, or they started doing three-man pushes with subs to the anchor to break the hills.
Mm-hmm.
Like people started like adapting to different stuff. So like the game's gonna keep evolving. So like I wish part of me wishes like, hey, we just had one competitive Call of Duty game for the rest of time. But for Activision, that doesn't make business sense because they're like cashing out every year with the new games, with building the hype and all that stuff. So I doubt that will ever happen, but hopefully it's still remastered. I love that. I mean, did you see that article about Modern Warfare 2?
Modern Warfare 2, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's wraps for my relationship. That's not happening anymore. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I fucking grinded that game, man. That was the funnest pub game ever, man. Like, I remember, I will forever remember me and my co-owner got nukes in a TDM match, both in the same game, a TDM. That means we got 50 kills in a row in one TDM. and then we launched at the same time, and mine was the one that went off. But yeah, we're gonna like, I don't have tattoos or anything, but like definitely one day I'm gonna get like that nuke emblem from Modern Warfare 2 like somewhere here or something. And we're gonna get like matching tattoos.
Gonna get a war tattoo as well?
Yeah, definitely war is gonna be on me. My first tattoo I already know it's gonna be I think the paw of my cat that passed away.
Yeah.
He was with me for 16 years, so like I pretty much raised my childhood with him. So like, you know, rest in peace, Crackle Pichardo. But yeah, that's my baby. So that's gonna be the first tattoo I get is that one for sure, and then probably war after that. Somebody already got a war tattoo. Somebody beat me to it. A fan of ours in Israel fucking got a tattoo of war. Like that's mad to me, bro. Like somebody I've never met fucking across the world in Israel got a tattoo of war, like our logo and everything on them, like permanently. Like to me, that's so crazy that I created something that like somebody felt that attachment to, like I do, that they are willing to put something permanent ink on their body. It's crazy, man. Like when that happened, I lost my shit.
I can imagine that's actually quite mad.
Right? Like
that's a thing. Like that's bizarre.
Isn't that crazy? Like
that's his thought process.
But I mean, yeah, like I just like. I mean, to me, it's just like, dude, are you sure? Like, are you like, you know? But like, I also get it because people get tattoos of like the Lakers or the Dodgers or Manchester United or what Chelsea, whatever. Like, people do that because in the end, it's just like that's to them. That's their like, that's them. It's part of them. And what I'm realizing is as we continue to grow, it's like war is going to be part of people. Like, it's going to be part of you. Like, it's a culture. It's going to be like. You know, one day I want to be able to go into a pub and see like a war match and have some pints with my UK fucking Brits and like just fucking start chanting like in the pub. Like one day that will happen, and I will fucking, you know, I will cry that day, probably drunk cry, but it's okay. But, you know, like it's just crazy. You know, like I plan on like keeping this train going as long as until I die, until my kids take over, hopefully, basically. That's my mentality for war for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, I think we are going to start to wrap it up here now. This has been running on for quite a while because this man, as I said, is in very interesting mind. So if you do have any questions for him further, as we said, please go follow him. Please go ask him because he gives out some great advice. So I can imagine he can help a lot of you guys. And of course, as always, thank you for taking the time out, man, and coming on and talking to us. We really do appreciate it.
Of course, man. I thank you guys for inviting me over. You know, keep doing big things. Keep up the grind. If you need any help or need any guests, so you want me to like ping or anything, let me know. I'll tell them to come and do it for sure. But thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks, chat, for sticking around and asking questions and stuff and supporting both of us. Like that's awesome, man. I couldn't ask for anything more, man. Thank you guys.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Guys, make sure you go and follow War Surge. Obviously, you can see his Twitter underneath his camera. Make sure you follow War as well. Keep up to date with what they are doing. And, of course, scroll down and make sure you are following EG. And make sure you follow the stream as well so you will be notified every time we go live, whether that's a tournament, an event, or, you know, another podcast. But, yeah, make sure you go shoot EG a follow as well. And while I'm here, make sure you follow me. I'll plug myself. Well, thank you to everybody that tuned in for this episode. We'll be back next week with a brand new one. See you later, guys.
All right. Peace out, guys.